Hi, Teresa.
Hey,
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for coming in
Thanks for
to
taking the
the
time to meet
office.
me.
Yeah, my name's Landon. I'm the cannabis educator here. Thanks for taking the time to pre-do your intake form. I got that over the email. That's very helpful for me to have beforehand, just to get a picture of things before I meet you. And it's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, I'll just jump right into it, I guess.
Okay.
Let's just get on the same page. I have a couple questions about the intake form. I see that you, your main reason for coming today, you said is looking for alternative options to manage anxiety, sleep, weight loss, and overall health.
That's correct.
Are you currently taking any medications for any issues relating to this, or seeing anybody?
No medications, no.
Okay. And I also see that you have had a bit of experience with CBD in the past for stress and sleep. How did that go?
I do. It's going very well. I don't have a lot of knowledge about it, but I do take a bit of CBD occasionally for sleep and anxiety, and it's been very beneficial for me. So I just wanted to explore it further.
Yeah. Well, and I see too. Yeah, you're looking to just sort of improve overall health.
Yes.
And I'm passionate about cannabis, and now with legalization, and we have different tracks to obtaining it, like at the stores, like recreationally, or there's the medical option as well. If you're, do you know much about that? Have you heard about the medical track?
I have not.
No?
I'm very, very new, just dabbling.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. Back to the intake form. Have you ever had any experience with THC in the past?
I have. I've smoked it and taken oils, and hasn't particularly agreed with me. I find that it gives me more anxiety. It does not relax me. It does not help me sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people have the same sort of experiences that sometimes we call it like the high school high, or you don't really know exactly what you're getting if you're getting like untested products, or and usually that's a result of having too high a dosage, too much, and then you can get overwhelmed and have some bad symptoms.
Okay.
But it's been a lot of tests and a lot of clients that I've known to use cannabis for sleep. A combination is what is very helpful of CBD and THC, which seems to do the trick. Some people actually, CBD keeps them awake, and then it's almost like very beneficial to have a little bit of THC in there as well, just for insomnia, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I see with the intake method, I asked your intake method of choice is ingestion. Is that what you've tried the most, like the oils, or that's what you prefer?
That's what I've tried the most, and I've had the most success with.
Okay.
However, I've never smoked CBD. I've only taken oils. So
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know any different.
Yeah. Now with all the products, like with legalization, there's a lot of new technologies and like vaporizers and things out there that are quite effective and very efficient.
Okay.
Too, like just depending on your lifestyle. Okay. But we'll get into some products in a bit. I'm just really happy to hear that you're open-minded and
Very much.
Wanting to try new things and learn new stuff. That's awesome. And you have one of the questions was about your expectation. You wrote you have no expectation, just open to new knowledge. That's great. You have no chronic pain. That's good. That's good. Well, and a lot of people I find when they, look into cannabis to use it for one scenario, they'll find it helping on multiple others. Like if you do have any like pain or I don't know, like 'cause I guess the most common are anxiety and sleep, and that's what you're looking to treat. But you might just be surprised that some other things might, other positive effects will come along. So that's sort of the nice surprises I like to hear about.
I've heard about people having success with like muscle pain or migraines and things like
joint
that.
And muscle aches and
it's really cool.
So what do you do for work? It seems like you have a bit of stress.
I work in photography, so it's just unpredictable hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have kids too?
I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it looks like you have a good fitness level, and that's great. That
No,
is
that's
great.
good. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Staying active.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mobile is very important.
Very important.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I guess back to the medical tract is one of the options of getting your cannabis products. Like, I want to recommend some products to you today, and you'll be able to find these in the dispensaries, they're called, the stores where you can purchase them. But you can order them online as well. If you were to go to a clinic and see a registered, like a cannabis-friendly physician at a clinic, then you could get in touch with a licensed producer who can, you can order all your products online. You don't have to go into a store, and they'll just get couriered to your house.
That's cool.
And some other benefits, if in the medical tract, compassionate pricing is available just based on your income. If you make like less than a certain amount, it's usually around 30,000, then you can apply for that or qualify for that. So I'm not sure if that's an issue for you. And the consistency of products too is much better on the medical side. They have in the recreational stores, some of the popular items they seem to run out of, and they can't keep up with them, and some of the popular strains. So that can be an issue. But as long as you know, like today we're going to go over some products and I'll give you the profiles, so at least you'll have that. If any store seems to be out of these exact brands, then you'll always sort of know what you're looking for. Which is helpful.
Can you tell me what compassionate pricing means?
Well, that just means there's a discount is available if you make less than 30,000 a year. I think it's usually 30 or 35 depending on the licensed producer. Yeah, just because then, because you're gonna, just so you can afford the medication. Some of them are more expensive than others, but they try to help everybody in every walk of life. Yeah,
that's awesome.
But unfortunately, that is not available in the stores.
That you have to see a medical.
Yeah, you have to have your prescription, and then that's available too. Yeah, no, it's a quite simple process, but it's a lot of information. It's a lot of just things, like a lot of new products out there, and it can be overwhelming, but yeah, but I find it all quite interesting.
That's pretty cool that's an option.
Yeah, it is great. So here's just some recommendations. I made a little sort of like a daily, these are the dosages and sort of the titration schedules that I've created for you, just thinking this will be helpful. So the first one on there that I'd like you to, or that I'd like to recommend that I think will be the most helpful is a CBD oil. And I've chosen Spectrum Therapeutics Yellow CBD oil. And this one, it's a 40 ml bottle, and it's 20 milligrams of CBD per milliliter of oil, which is one dropper of the bottle. So I'm thinking like a morning dose is what I'd like you to start off at 5 milligrams, which is very low, but it's good to start low and go slow. That's a popular saying, starting with cannabis, just so we'll slowly titrate you up. And I'd like to see you on 20 milligrams a day of CBD. And this is gonna start helping that sort of just overall wellness and like daytime anxiety. And CBD stands for cannabidiol, and it is one of well, specifically it's a phytocannabinoid that comes from the plant cannabis, and it is CBD and THC are the two most common, we think of them as molecules in the plant, and they're like the active ingredients that cause the effects, and CBD is the non-psychoactive one, so it won't impair you or anything like THC may. But everybody's different. It's all about sort of finding our balance, and like I said, they work great together. So that's my recommendation. Well, at least like we're starting with the CBD oil, but then you'll see I want to introduce some THC for nighttime. So, and that oil, I like to see every 3 days we can do an increase, and I'm gonna send you a cannabis use journal just to keep track of these products, and then any other ones that you try, you can keep track of sort of the profile of the product, everything that all the information you can see about it. You should keep track, like all the terpenes, and we'll get into those. I have an information sheet for you on terpenes.
Very cool.
But the journal will be great just to document these products and how they're going, so we don't forget.
Perfect.
Yeah. So starting on that oil in the morning, and then I was thinking vaporizers. Would you be interested in hearing about that? Because they're very portable, they're very quick and fast acting, like for nighttime, and they're very effective and just sort of convenient. So
absolutely. Yep.
And the one I had in mind, it's a Tweed Indica vape pen, and it's 83% THC, and that one would be, and the good thing about these too is they're a button click, and you just can take a puff, or you can microdose and just take a half puff as well, and start there, because it is, you know, they're quite strong and comes on quick. So I would recommend starting with a half puff and just going from there. If you you know, awake in the night as well and feel like you need something to get back to sleep, it's an option to try another one.
Right before bed.
Yeah, right before bed. Because unlike the oil can take up to an hour to absorb and sort of take effect, this is a fast-acting like vapor inhalation, which effects will start immediately. And then I wrote, in case you're interested, well, you had mentioned weight loss is one of your goals to see about as well, and CBD itself is an anoretic, so that is an appetite suppressant. Like usually when you hear about, you know, getting the munchies, that's an effect of THC. It's an appetite booster, but CBD on its own, it should keep your appetite down. But I wrote, it's called Dutch Treat, is the cultivar, the variety of buds that you can buy that is high in humulene, which is a terpene that is also an appetite suppressant. So like in addition to CBD, that would really help with suppressing appetite, if that's what you're interested in. And it's also high in THCV, which suppresses appetite too.
Now, is that something that you would suggest taking in the morning, or would that be as well as before bed?
I think it would be a before bed, because we would have to look into that where you were buying this cultivar, and my guess is that it's going to be average or high in THC. So if you might not want that during the day, it might be impairing and be sort of more on the sedative side, just like the indica pen. Yeah, and indica itself, like cannabis comes in two main varieties, sativa and indica. And indica is like the nighttime one. That's how I like to remember it, like indicouch. It makes you sleepy. And then sativa is kind of like a stimulating sativa. That's how I remember it. So indica is definitely the bedtime. If you haven't heard that before, it's a good way to remember.
So can you tell me what CBD is exactly, and then how is it different from THC?
Yeah, well, I was starting to explain it. THC and CBD are the phytocannabinoids, like from the plant of cannabis, and we all have an endocannabinoid system that works directly with these molecules. So when our body produces endocannabinoids in our body that work synergistically with the phytocannabinoids. And we have CB1 and CB2 receptors all throughout our body, mainly in our nervous system and our areas that work with our immune system, because that's where they target the most. So, you know, appetite and anxiety and stress, like those are all things that they work with, and those are, well, CBD, CBD is the non impairing one. THC is the only one that causes those. Well, and I wanted to get into some actually the last product that I wanted to recommend, like just in case the vape pen wasn't working, is a THC and CBD powder. That's the one that's called Ripple, and it's by a company called T-God, and it is a balanced product with THC and CBD together. Which I really like, and what I really like is that it's nice and low. It's perfect for somebody just trying to find out the ideal dosages. So each package, it comes in a box with 4 packs, and each one is 2.5 milligrams of THC and CBD. So that's low. Like I wanted to start you at 5, but we could start, well, along with your 5 in the morning, you would take one of these for bed. So that would be your alternative option if maybe you didn't like the taste or the action of the vaporizer. You could try these, because they're flavorless too. You can add them in any drink or any, even like a food, like a dip or. You can get creative with it, and then you don't have to taste it if that's an issue, or you don't have to smoke it.
That's great.
And then back to the CBD and THC. Well, they have a few different side effects that I wanted to go over, like each to their own. So the potential to become impaired or experience negative symptoms from either THC or CBD is most likely based on three things. The first thing is your genetics. Some people are just prone, based on their genetics, that they're just more sensitive.
Okay.
And 1 milligram of THC is going to seem the same as like 100 to somebody else, just
Whoa.
depending on your genetics. So right there can tell you a lot. If you're very sensitive, then that would be worth looking into.
Okay.
And the second one is your intake method. And like I was explaining, inhalation is very quick. So if you take, like smoke a whole joint to yourself, or that's going to be a lot, and that inhalation method will probably give you too much, and you'll experience some negative effects. And then the third one to watch out for is the product potency. So if you have a really high THC product, then just be aware of how much you're taking and how you're intaking it as well. And your genetics. Those are the three main things. So from THC, the most common side effects or possible side effects are elevated heart rate, which is called tachycardia, so it can just raise your heart rate. Dehydration or dry mouth, where you can feel like your, pasties, cotton mouth is also called. Paranoia, decreased motivation, increased anxiety can happen from THC, whereas CBD battles that and combats. They combat each other. Some of the things are, like some cause sleep and some help with sleep, and it's very interesting. Dizziness, bouts of dizziness can happen from THC, and disorientation.
Okay.
And then possible side effects from CBD are that it lowers appetite. It can be an anoretic for some people. So some people, it does this more than others. But if you're already low in weight and possibly sick with something, that could be not a good thing to be losing weight without knowing, right? So it's good to know that it can make you not hungry or cause you to eat less. And then higher doses of CBD are known to lower blood sugar. And CBD can cause dizziness when standing too quickly. That's also known as orthostatic hypotension.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And CBD can also interfere with blood pressure medication. So if you're on any like blood pressure or even blood thinner medications, it's a good idea just to talk to your doctor and let them know that you're using CBD as a supplement for anxiety, trying it out. Most doctors nowadays are they know all about it or getting to know more. So it is good. It's good to be able to work with them. Yeah. And CBD, like I was talking about sleep, in some it can cause drowsiness, and in some it can cause insomnia. And this has to do with genetics as well, just how your body works.
Just trial and error.
So those are just things to be aware of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and then I wanted to go back onto the terpenes. I know I started talking about it. Do you know much about terpenes?
I know absolutely nothing.
No? Well, they're quite amazing. And terpenes, they're the highly aromatic compounds that basically give smells from plants. They're in all plants and herbs that have an odor, and they also play a vital role in like protecting themselves from predators or attracting other insects as pollinators. So they're like a huge part of the life cycle and the life of the plant. And they actually, for humans, when we consume them, they have many beneficial many things that are beneficial.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. Some of them have a lot of the same things, and cannabis is just being it's just starting to get known how many terpenes are in there. There's over 100 already found, and they're still finding more and finding sort of benefits and what their uses are. So it's quite exciting.
Very cool.
But I just wanted to go over a couple common ones with you and where they come from and what their smell and benefit are. First, caryophyllene, which is a common one in cannabis. It's woody, spicy, and a peppery hint in its smell, and its benefits are strong anti-inflammatory actions, and it's an analgesic, which is a painkiller.
Cool.
And it also helps with anxiety and is a neuroprotective and anti-malarial.
Cool.
And caryophyllene is found in cannabis as well as basil, bay, black pepper, caraway, cinnamon, cloves, hops, and rosemary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
One you've probably heard of or smelled for sure is limonene. And this one, just like the name lemon, it's got a fresh citrus scent and sometimes has like a sweet aroma as well, but like sweet and citrus. And this one is beneficial. It's very mood uplifting and euphoric, and can be used as an antidepressant and can be energizing. And this is basically in just the citrus rinds and cannabis is where you find this one. And another popular one is linalool, and this one is a great one for sleep. And it also is found that it can reduce seizures and convulsions.
Wow.
And is also a painkiller and an antidepressant and very sedative and calming, and like I said, good with sleep. And it smells like lavender. It has a floral and a bit of spice and like a honey scent to it.
Okay.
And my favorite one is pinene. This one is just kind of like the name. It smells like a forest and a woodsy, earthy, fresh scent of pine needles. And this one helps with focus and concentration. And it's a bronchodilator, so it actually like opens up the lungs and helps you to breathe.
Very
And
cool.
it's also a painkiller, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antioxidant. And like the name, it's found in pine and rosemary and juniper and other woodsy plants, and also the cannabis plant.
Very cool.
Yeah. So depending on what you're looking for, you can profile your product by terpenes or with the THC and CBD levels that are beneficial to you. So it's good to keep track of this stuff in that journal. Which ones work for you, or maybe which ones are like, whoa, that definitely does not work. If it turns you off, like the scent, or if it gives you sort of like a nauseous or an unwell feeling, then it's good to find those out as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't realize there were so many varieties. My goodness.
Yeah, there's lots to be aware of.
Yeah, lots to learn.
All right. Yeah, and like I think I had mentioned, I am gonna send out a summary email of all this, just so you have everything we've discussed
Yes.
and all the products we've gone over. And I'm going to include in that email a copy of my Cannabis Coach, the journal.
Yes,
Yeah.
great. Yes.
And that one, will be a valuable tool for you. And
Yes,
I suggest
absolutely.
it is quite extensive, but to go through it a couple times with some of your products, like to even use the products that I suggested, like put them into the journal and sort of write in all the profile of what each product contains, and then just go from there, detailing in how it made you feel. And then the next few times that you use it, if it's a little redundant, you can sort of cut things out and just include the important parts. But that'll be a great tool for you in moving forward and just sort of testing some products.
Okay. And you want me to start on all of these products, or do I start with one and then work in another one, or?
Well, I would suggest starting with the CBD in the morning, the oil, right away. And then if you'd like, start with one of the nighttime ones as well. Like if you would like to try the vaporizer or the packet of balanced powder, because the vaporizer, like, it does have some CBD in there as well, so but it just has a little bit more THC. And then and like I said, that one's easy to microdose on as well, and start low, go slow.
So I've only ever taken CBD at night. Should I expect anything if I take it in the mornings?
Well, from other clients and newcomers, new people trying it, like CBD is said to be non-psychoactive, but some people say, like, when they first start taking it, maybe up to a week or the first couple days, there's a little bit of fuzziness in your head, like it's not an impairment at all. And I've noticed that too. Like, I take CBD oil, and I think after, it's basically your body just getting used to it and your receptors sort of accepting that and getting that every day, and then it just kind of only gets better from there. Like, you'll notice, like, your anxiety melting away.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so that would be a benefit to taking it in the morning versus taking it only at nighttime. That would kind of give me that protection, or that,
Yeah, but then I think the magic comes when you mix in a little THC at night. That's gonna, like, really put you to sleep, and then it has the additional added bonus of having the CBD at nighttime as well. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, and then, well, like I said, I wanted to try to bring you up to 20 milligrams of CBD. So starting at 5, and then we'll get up to 20. So every 3 days, increasing. And then at that point, we can talk about, you can get gel cap pills.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have
That's
to use
handy.
the dropper anymore, and then and then you just have to take one gel cap every day.
That's great.
Or if you are still feeling, maybe, your anxiety is still there, then we can continue raising the dosage a little bit, because some
Okay.
people do need a little bit more,
Okay.
and at least to start out, and we'll just go from there, taking it slow.
And do I build a tolerance to it over time, and then I would give myself a higher dose, or how does that work?
Yeah, like usually CBD, you stay the same.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you wouldn't, and some people like to take breaks from it for a couple weeks, and then,
Okay.
Usually they end up missing it. But 20 milligrams is quite low, and that's a dose I see that people like continuously take, and then they'll just take breaks here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that's slowly going to go up over
Okay.
time, that you're going to, a couple of years from now, you're not going to be needing 10 times as much,
Okay.
if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
it's
asking.
quite,
That's
yeah,
good.
the body does good with a consistent amount
That's
of
very
CBD.
cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I did want to go over a couple just safety precautions
Okay.
and legalities that you probably already know. I'm sure you've heard things like this, but you said you do have children, right?
I do. I have 3 children.
Yeah. So all these cannabis products, they are best stored in their original child-proof containers, which
Okay.
are smell-proof, and it's good to just keep them out of reach from any minors. Obviously, that's 18 in Alberta.
Okay.
And for the legalities in the stores, right now it's legal to purchase 30 grams a day. That's the maximum, and that's a
Okay.
lot. Yeah,
That's a
you
lot, yeah,
wouldn't
okay.
have to worry about not being able to get
Yeah.
what you need. And you can actually go to one store and get 30 grams, and go to another store and get 30. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not. It's everything's new.
Okay.
And so the 30 grams per day. And also, each household now it's legal to grow up to 4 plants if you were interested in,
Okay.
if you have a green thumb, and because the oils are pretty easily made. And like I said, if you were interested in that humulene
Mm-hmm.
strain, you could get some and make that into your own oil. Like if you didn't want to smoke it, or you could use it as a tea as well, like a
Okay.
nighttime tea.
You just steep the leaves?
Yeah,
or-
well, I would leave the buds out to dry out, and then
Okay.
basically crush it up to like a ground tea, and then you
Okay.
could steep it like a loose leaf tea.
Okay, and then-
Exactly.
How would you go about making an oil?
And the oil, basically just steeping it at a low temperature. Like you can buy machines that do it, but you can do it in a crock pot as well. Just with a carrier oil, like a sunflower oil or
Okay.
olive oil,
Okay.
and then the product just ground up sort of like a tea, and you steep it slowly into the oil, and then just strain it out. It's
Cool.
as easy as that. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah, or
pretty
there's you can make it into a butter and experiment with like baked goods like brownies or cookies as well. It's another way to turn it into an edible.
neat. Okay.
So there's room to play around,
Mm-hmm.
to try creating different things.
Oh, it sounds very fun.
Yeah, and transport within Canada is legal. It's not illegal to transport cannabis outside of the country of Canada. So within Canada, it's perfectly legal on planes and trains and buses.
Cool.
You just have to. They like to keep you to keep it in the original packaging. With the childproof containers and
Okay.
the smell-proof. Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, I'm excited to connect with you through email,
Me too.
and then we can see how things are going, and book a following appointment
Okay.
from there.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I would just take this into a dispensary and look for these specific.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And I will journal, and then we will touch base. How long do you suggest till we touch base again?
I would say 1 week to 2 weeks. Like
Okay.
after you maybe
Okay.
had one, upped your dose once or twice with the CBD, and just
Okay.
make sure there's been, or if you have any concerns with like any side effects that you're getting, if you up to 5 doses and you have any concerns, then
Okay.
then email me sooner or call for sure.
Okay.
But I think
fantastic.
1 to 2 weeks is a good time for a follow up, and
That
just
sounds
to
great.
touch base and see how things are going.
Okay. Well, I'm really looking forward to giving this a go.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, well, good luck. I hope you can maneuver through the new industry of cannabis. It's a lot of new things, but it's
It is.
exciting. It's helping a lot of people though.
I appreciate you holding my hand through it. It'll be
It's my
very good to
pleasure.
learn more.
Well, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Have a great day.
Thank you for your time.